या देवी सर्वभूतेषु अम्म रूपेण संस्थिता नमस्तस्यै 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 नमो नमः। आहा आहा Dimi tak Dimi tak Dimi tak
बदलाता नहीं पर तेरे से डरता हूँ मैं यूं तो मैं दिखलाता नहीं तेरी परवाह करता हूँ मैं तुझे सब है पता है ना तुझे सब है पता मेरी माँ भीड़ में यूं न छोड़ो मुझे घर लौट के भी आना पाऊँ भेजना इतना दूर मुझको तो याद में तुझको आना पाऊँ क्या इतना बुरा होना क्या इतना बुरा मेरी माँ
Milo, do you have something to say? I don't know if his panting is audible, but hello. I'm gonna try to not touch this microphone too much. And I also don't really want to talk super loud, just because the house is quiet. And I figure a decent bit of this is getting picked up. Here, fuck it, I'll move this a little closer. Sorry, wait, ear warning, one sec. Okay, maybe that's better, I don't know. I've been trying to get myself to, I finally made eye contact with the camera. I've been trying to get myself to do one of these for a while now, but I've just been like so tired and like there's so many things I always want to talk about, but then like so many things that also go through my mind when I think about like how do I want to talk about it, or you know, I don't know, just so many things. Right? I'm just completely whispering now. I probably don't need to really, but it's fine. Maybe this will just be a whisper reflection. Yeah, a lot has happened since the last time I did a reflection video. And like, you don't need to.
जब भी कभी पापा जो जोर से झूला झूला पर मैं सहम जाता दिल ही दिल में घबराता तुझे सब है पता है ना तुझे सब है पता तुझे सब है पता तुझे सब है पता
Tiny burp. I'm back. Chaotic downfall. But I guess that just depleted my energy, so I'll be concise. And just list things, and then maybe I'll talk about them in the future. Yeah. Sometimes I just get so overwhelmed with like all the ideas that I like don't know what the fuck to start with. So I just keep doing whatever. Hopefully I'm visible enough. Wait, maybe I should hang on. I'll go a little this way. Oh. Okay. Milo's here, yay. So things that have occurred in vague order of events was like, well, because I thought about recording a reflection video like 2 weeks after I'd basically gotten like friendship dumped or broken up with, or like let's go no contact with by like 2 friends, and then that kind of sucked booty cheeks, obviously. So I think the mic is like completely covering my face, but I don't really mind. I don't really mind just talking to the void right now. So tired. Holy shit. Why do I always start these so late? It's okay. I'll be concise so that I just pick back up shit later. So yeah, I want to talk more about how I processed that, because like I'm very at peace with it now, but like I was very like it took a few days at least to just kind of really like not feel just super like, guilty and like rejection, like sensitive about it. And yeah, I mean like it was like both me and my partner both got like, hey, we don't want to be friends anymore. So like it kind of I think it was helpful to be going through it with someone else. I just like, I'm a little more sheltered in my history than my partner is, so there's certain little milestones when it comes to like going through shitty things with like relationships that like they've had a little more experience with than I have. times of like, sometimes like you try your best and it don't work out, you know, and I just have to get more used to that. But it was interesting to like kind of process some things, a lot of complexities, and like I want to respect everyone's privacy too, but like still make my reflective material for future me, because I've really been, now that it's been like a year since I've recorded some of the videos, like I have enough times passed where I can like have like healthy cringe, you know, and be like, oh, that's an older version of myself, and I'm cringing at how like, whether it was like anxious or how I worded something, because I was like trying to come off maybe more professional or less professional, or not less professional, but like more like approachable, or even like respectful, or not, or whatever, not respectful, but like trying to like avoid cursing or not, just like, I don't know, different things. It's really been interesting being so like with how I do this, because it's certainly a choice, I recognize. Not that like people are doing a lot on the internet, you know, like this is not the worst thing out there, I know, but I guess it's the knowledge of like, I don't know, like publishing my words as they come more actively. It's been interesting kind of doing that, and then looking back on like old periods of doing that. It sort of feels like I compare this to therapy, but the thing is it's not therapy, but it's similar in the sense of like I'm actively speaking out loud about some very like personal takes or whatever, and being kind of mindful of like how I phrase my thoughts, trying to be. But like, you know, part of what I want to do is like be at peace with the fact that like there's going to come a time where I look back on things and I'm like, that was a bullshit way to put that, or this or that, and like whether it's just like accidents or mistakes, or like, I don't know, just like with that whole like the relationship going south with those two people had me very like thinking about how to set myself up for like continuing to not be like too hard on myself when things don't work out, you know. And I think it's, I don't know, there's certainly a lot that I am exposing myself to with the ideas that I pursue sometimes. And so I think it's like kind of like a life opportunity, I guess, to take it as like to be more mentally prepared, to like not always, like you go to bed thinking a situation was a certain way, and you wake up tomorrow, it's a whole new universe. Shit has gone up in flames, you know, like being a little more at peace with that chaos, I think, is like something that I just keep getting hammered with life by, in like that lesson, and it's not bad, it's not a bad thing. I really hope the mic is picking up all of this, because if it isn't, it might take me a few days to gather the motivation to do this again. And I'm not being as concise as I was trying to be. But like, that always happens, and that's kind of part of the point too. I don't think it's a bad thing. Yeah, but so that happened, and then somewhat shortly after that, it was kind of interesting too, because like that happened on top of like already having some stress at home with like family things and life, and having started tea and kind of going through that, but having not talked to my family about it yet. But like, those were friends who I was kind of more openly able to talk to about that with. So it was like a sudden like, oh shit, this like pretty thin web of like queer support that I was like just starting to weave kind of already fell apart. So it was kind of like a damn dude, like you really need to find more queer people to like be able to lean on, and like more I don't know, like it takes time, you know. And the thing is, like, I'm very grateful to have at this point in my life like friends that I've known now for a couple years and who I do feel like actually know me and understand me well, which I didn't always feel like I had before. I really like I don't know, I'm like so full of gratitude like every day at this point in my life, and it was not always like that. Like I've always been a very grateful person, but at times it was more out of like guilt or feeling confused about what I actually believed I deserved. And like sometimes it can still be like that, but it's more like a roller coaster of like thoughts come and go. Old habits die hard, right? So even if I'm much more secure in my sense of self and more stable in my like coping mechanisms for life's variation and various stressors and unpredictable things, you know, like knowing myself more now allows me to give myself a lot more grace when things happen. And at the same time, I don't want to just like turtle shell Jerry, which is something I've been saying with my partner a lot more. Like, I don't want to like turtle shell Jerry like in Rick and Morty, which I keep referencing that now, but like at the same time, there are certain controversies with like one of the creators and things. So like, there's like I don't want to just like I don't know. I don't know how to feel yet about like name dropping things that other people may then go to, and like if there's something I know, I feel like kind of not obligated, but like fuck, what a tangent. I'll come back to this another time, man. Okay, so anyways, I gotta get more gay friends. That's about it. I was feeling very happy with those friendships, and feeling very like seen having brown friends too that were gay, because like then I could talk about like the intersectionality stuff, you know, which it's like, and it's not that I can't talk about intersectional topics with like with straight friends or with non-POC friends, you know, like whether white or just so complex, so later, but few words, concise, okay. Point is, I was definitely feeling like a certain part of myself, kind of like light up, in that like environment, and that was cool. But at the same time, I was also like, I could see that, especially after everything happened, like it's like old types of anxiety or tiptoeing or whatever opened up, you know. So I don't know if any of this makes sense, and I really don't. It's fine if it doesn't, you know. But it'll hopefully make sense to me. And yeah, so then basically at home, stuff got like really, really weird for a little bit. I say weird, but it's just like more like shit hit the fan. But then we cleaned the fan and we Clorox wiped everything, and the fan works fine now. More than. It's an awful metaphor, holy fuck. I think it's also like, I get very stiff when I'm sitting trying to like speak into the mic, and then I think that makes me like more prone to eventually get distracted, get tired, and lose my train of thought. So let me just pull the mic down a little bit real quick, one sec. Watch your ears. Okay. And then I'm just gonna wrap this up, but basically, after all that yappery, what I do want to kind of wrap this up on is as of yesterday. So yesterday would be August 22nd, 2026. I got to have my partner over at my family home for the first time. So in a brilliant turn of events, like I said, we Clorox wiped the fan like shit went south. And they found out about my tea, sort of. And then I also don't have my tea prescription now because they threw it away. But it's okay because I've decided to also kind of roll with taking a break for a little bit until my next prescription comes in anyways. For a multitude of reasons that I'll talk about in the future. But it's been interesting already within 1 week kind of seeing the difference of being like, oh, I am a little more tired again. Damn, you know? Because I think it's going to be interesting perspective knowing that I do want to get back on it. But like, forgiveness and stuff, not that anyone else has to. But like, I've had a lot of time to, not a lot of time, I've had a lot of things in life to help me process and like, I think become more patient over time. Hopefully other people think that too. And obviously with it, as with anyone, right, family can trigger you the most. So, you know, sometimes I end up being like the kind of person that I am most scared of being when I'm with these people that I, you know, allegedly love the most in the world, like including my partner even. Like, there are times where I'm like, fuck, like, I've never been this shitty of a person to anyone, and what do I do with that after, you know? But the thing is, like, that's kind of where, for me, a lot of what does kind of help me keep my head on straight is being like, every day genuinely is a new day, you know? You don't necessarily get a fresh start, but you get to pick up the pieces and figure out what to do with the next day ahead, you know? Knowing that you might die. So, like, it's very refreshing, I think, having this, like, setup where we basically, we go to sleep, man. We get to just let everything go for a sec. And, especially, I think, prioritizing, like, good sleep quality over the last year has been such a... I'm not letting that go. No matter what, I am a much better person. I'm more proud of the person that I am in society when I'm well rested. I think that is not an atrocious thing to suggest that maybe, like, we as a society would all be better off if everyone was able to be more well rested and less tired and stuff, but so many things to do, and you know, whoa, itchy nose. Lost my train of thought. Okay, but anyways, yeah. So I'm in a very optimistic headspace, and not in like a idealistic way, but in a very, I'm very happy to feel like not just enamored with like the person of my dreams and get to finally share them with my family peacefully and look forward to this like union of I mean like coming together of like these two groups of people, like eventually when our families meet up, and like it's something I've been waiting for so long and shit scared of, and like it's happening, and it's, I could not have asked for it to happen any other way. You know, it's really cool, man. It's really cool to be alive. And that, I think, like I definitely, my body still fucking aches every day, you know. I'm definitely, every day after 9 o'clock I realize how in denial I am about how much I ache. I just like, I don't know. Yeah, a lot of next steps that I want to get sorted with health things for myself to be like not just responsible, but like out of actual genuine self-love and care, like, you know. But I don't want to overwhelm myself, so I'm, you know, taking it one step at a time. And like school and stuff starting up, I did get a job, and then I quit the job before it even started because home things were happening, and then so now I have to find another job. But I also might look for a different kind of job now. So many things, you know, like life. Yeah. I don't know. I feel very full of purpose. Oh, I was trying to remember. I was like, there's one more thing that I wanted to say, which was, I guess this is kind of like my birthday video as well for this year, because my birthday was last week. In the middle of the shit show, of course, but I mean, the plot writer loves to make things dramatic, and like, dude, the plot writer has used my birthday as like drama edge points so many times. Not just my birthday, multiple family members' birthdays. Like, birthdays are dramatic, I guess. So be it. No, maybe that shouldn't be a trend, but I mean, it's just fun. It's funny, but like, it's cute. It's just like, there is something endearing about the fact that like something so unimaginably like chaotic can be going on, but there's like this tiny bit of birthday magic of like, fuck, we gotta talk properly because like we care about you, because, you know, like we know when you were born, like we saw you as a baby, bro. I didn't say that very you guys know what I meant, I hope. Okay, I give up now, I think. But yeah, so I'm just like, I'm happy to be here. Looking forward to the next year of life. Hopefully I'll be doing many more videos throughout the year, because I think I'm more at peace with just whispering more often, especially with this mic. And I think that it's not about pushing myself to do them more often, it's more about not stopping myself from doing them as much, because sometimes I stop myself being like, oh, let me wait a little longer, maybe I'll have something more profound to say, but like, I don't need to have something profound to say. I think allowing myself to consume various kinds of media, in terms of like, when I was younger, I was very much given the impression of like, try to like only consume things that aren't just entertaining but also informative, and it's like, there's a balance, and I've learned that over the years, and my partner and friends just throughout the years have certainly helped with like, dude, like, enjoy life, enjoy like laughing at funny shit, you know, enjoy the stupid things are just as important, you know, like joy and resistance, basically. And it's really, really fucking healing to be getting to a point in my life where I'm able to finally start seeing that trickle back into my family, and like my parents especially, you know. Like, there's like a lot of guilt that I think kids carry, like not just me, like any kid, whether it's immigrant kids or just, you know, like we carry this guilt of like not being able to fix our parents' problems, but like, dude, sometimes the universe does actually help you just be there for them while they figure their shit out, and that's like, that's such a gift, you know. I know they won't be here forever, and it's terrifying to think about that sometimes after the sun goes down. Like, I feel no different from the same 5-year-old that was like, what if they go outside and get in a car crash and then I'm an orphan? Especially before my brother was born, it was like, it was one thing, because I'd be like, oh my god, I'm gonna get random weird parents chances are you were terrified of becoming an orphan and like having to have like fake not your parents. Wait, no, wait. I'm not saying that you were all terrified of that. What I'm saying is, like, if you were someone that had this sort of like anxiety about your parents dying, like me, then you might also have been like that, you know, where it's like you don't want like parents that weren't your parents. Like, I don't know. Too many Disney movies, man. But like, what was I trying to say? Oh yeah, I was just trying to say like, it's a different anxiety now, knowing that I'm older and that my parents are older, and like, I keep hearing about people my age whose parents just pass away, and then it really extra hits, of course, you know. And I definitely have existential compulsive thinking, you know, with like, just always kind of, and I make the most of it, you know, like, everyone has their own things that they deal with, right? So this is, like, so much of this weird little channel and, like, these videos, too, is me dealing with that actively, obviously. And I think it'll be interesting if anyone ever, like, who doesn't fucking know me in real life actually enjoys being like, what is this? And like psychoanalyzing like the transformation of a character, basically characters, dare I say, throughout like each phase of, you know, like it's real life. And like real life could be a simulation in theoretical physics, which I totally am on board with, just not in that black and white of an explanation way, I guess. But that's kind of what makes everything all the more real, right? In existential compulsive thinking, right? It's like, if it's very hard to contextualize infinity, then fuck infinity. Focus on what is in front of you. And for me, what's in front of me is the problems plaguing my daily life. So, the things that are in my worldview, which is what I make of it, right? How much do I consume to find out what's going on in the world? Which is very different, for example, than like my mom, who doesn't really dig too much sometimes into like external world politics, war affairs, and stuff. So we'll be at like different levels of emotional toll being taken by stuff like that, you know, because sometimes she's a little bit more like ignorance is bliss. Like, if I don't have time to worry about children dying, and for me it's like it's a little different, I guess. But my dad is a little more like, he wants to be more informed in things, but compartmentalizes completely differently than me, you know. So being surrounded by people on a day-to-day basis that cope differently from me can make you go fucking insane, and that is not an original experience, I know that much. But there's certain peace to be had with that, right? Like, if everyone is kind of dealing with realizing that sometimes you're kind of different from your most loved ones, then there is also a fun and beauty in the game of life and the relationships aspect of figuring out how to understand the people that you care about and how to love them in the ways that they actually want to, you know, be, including with friends, right? Like, for me with this friendship thing, like, there's so much, I mean, I had such a, I want to, like, I guess in this, make a note of, like, a conversation that I then had with, like, a mutual friend of one of the friends, who I'm still friends with, right? And that was such a, like, healing conversation that I can't even say I needed, because it's like, there was no guarantee I was gonna get a conversation like that, but it's really nice that I got to have that. I got a certain amount of closure that I wasn't mentally prepared to get, you know, and I think this same happened with my family. It's like I was ready to be like, okay, I might not get any closure from any of these situations, and that's okay. I gotta kind of be okay with that, you know? And I think one of the things that also has helped me with that is just having other people in life to talk to and things. And also having like a stable therapist now for a couple months who I genuinely feel comfortable talking to and being myself with. That's been really, really cool. Because the second that stuff happened with family things, I was able to be like, yo, I know, like, because we meet every 2 weeks. So I was able to be like, yo, can we meet on like the week that we weren't gonna meet, right? And that was helpful. It was like a good way to process in like this very guilt-free environment of like, I mean, like, I really appreciate the way that my therapist communicates. It is right for me. So I really hope that I can continue with them for a while. And like for now it looks like I should be able to, which is really cool. But I don't know, we'll see. Cause like it also kind of depends on where I'm living in terms of like state and stuff, right? But like, and I know like if life ends up, you know, leading me into where I need to get a different one, like that's okay. Therapists also come and go. They're human beings, right? Like your therapist could move. Like you might not move. Your therapist could move. Your therapist could retire, right? So like you might really click with someone, whether it's a friend, a therapist, a family member, an animal companion, and then they're gone, and that's just fucking life, and it sucks sometimes. But it's not that you have to be completely detached from everything, right? It's that you can. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. In a bit. Okay. I mean, I'll come up in like 5 minutes. But like I can't come up immediately. I can't come up immediately. Yeah. One sec, I just realized the camera like moved. I don't know even when that happened because I haven't been looking at it. Alright, let me wrap this up. How long is it? One sec. Lord almighty, we hit over half an hour. Okay, yeah, so, I mean, like, I feel like when I first started recording these, I was having a lot of trouble putting into words, especially with the camera on, how I felt about being able to do this, whether it's with time or resources or energy or ability, and also just what exactly I was feeling in terms of motivation or purpose with doing this. So I've been more and more able to put it into words, and I think it'll just be an overtime thing. Like I keep talking about it, and then people who, like anyone who genuinely feels like they benefit from watching it, like they just will. Like that's on me trusting the universe to like send this out however it needs to be, you know. And if that it literally involves nothing, so be it. I think it would be, there's a certain, like, I know that if people ever start watching this more, that will be a thing to have to I'll have to get used to that, in its own way, right? But then at the same time, like, I also know that if that didn't happen at all, that'll be its own thing to get used to, right? Like if, let's say I keep making videos videos for like 20 years, and I get to be around for 20 more years, and I've made like hundreds, because I'm just doing my thing and making whatever I want. I think it's like, I will also have to balance not ever just kind of burning myself out and feeling really silly about like, oh, I'm making all these things, but like, nobody there to enjoy it. It's like, that's okay, because that's where, if I'm not prioritizing just making like money off of this, or just making other people enjoy it, as long as I'm enjoying it, then it's time well spent, you know, like, or even if it doesn't help anyone else, which is kind of like, I think something that not everyone will appreciate the value of. My mother did say there's dosas, and I'm really thinking about the dosas now, but yeah, so anyways, lots more to talk about in the future, and lots more to live and grow and fuck up and everything in between, you know. But here's to another year. I wish everyone a happy, healthy life, and, you know, I hope everyone's doing well. I don't know when the hell I'll get back to this again, but I've been trying to get myself to edit my little filmography project more, which takes more time away from doing anything of this. But then also I was like, oh, I should do more U-World videos to like, I don't know. I also have to like actually like study more for school stuff, and I'm so behind on so many things. Like, guys, don't ever think I'm not behind on things. I'm always behind on something. So be it. Tatastu. Okay, bye-bye. Don't kill yourself. I love you. Peace on earth, and like, let people be, you know, stand up for what you believe in is right, as long as it does not involve bringing other people down. And if that doesn't cover all the bases, then I will cover more bases tomorrow with my words and actions, and hopefully that'll help clarify the misdeeds and misspeaks of today. I never know how to wrap these up. Milo is passed out, but I'm so glad he didn't go. Oh my god, I wanna go up. I had apples and peanut butter, I never finished them. What the fuck? I guess that means though, like, cause now I'm gonna have the dopamine of like, oh my god, I did one of these, yay. I can like go upstairs, I get my apples and peanut butter, and I can keep watching Modern Family, which I've been like studying, because it's come back into I watched it back in college, and now I'm rewatching it, and have been for the last couple months, right? And it's very interesting watching it again at a different point in my life, because it was the first of that kind of show that I'd seen, like, in terms of it just like kind of normally incorporating a queer couple with queer problems, amongst just like a sitcom that I'd been exposed to and been able to just like watch in my room in college and be like, wait, why is this making me happy? And I didn't understand the concept of rewatching TV shows until I had watched more TV shows, like, of my own free will, out of the house, really, and then been like, oh, now I can make the decision to go back and rewatch it, and I understand why people do that, like, and I think just in general, having a little bit more free access to, like, what media I'm consuming as, like, a human being has just, like, made me more and more interested in the things that I'm interested in, including in fucking around with, like, making something of my own, basically, right? It's like, it's just so cool to be alive, and so cool to be at this place in my life, you know, like, a part of me, and, like, it's like, in my culture, but, like, I mean, in many cultures, sometimes they're like, oh, like, don't flaunt your, like, joy, because then someone's gonna, like, give you the evil eye and fuck it up for you, but Like, genuinely, I want to just, like, put the energy out there of, like, y'all, like, good things are out there. We will be okay. We will be fucking okay, man. Like, things are okay, and I feel as though, like, how can life get better right now? But I know that other people have thought that too. So, like, I'm fucking counting on it. Universe, send me even awesomer life. Do it. Fucking do it. Do it. You won't. Make my life even cooler and awesome. Do it. Bit. Okay. I'm so tired. Holy shit. But I'm happy that I finally got to this, because it's been fucking weeks, man. It's been, like, fucking, like, because the longer I wait, the more shit there is to talk about. But then, if I give it a little bit of time, I let my thoughts, like, marinate, and I, like, talk to myself in the shower a little bit, and I'm like, okay, I gotta cover, like, A, B, C, and then I end up covering D and E instead, of course. No, I'm just kidding, I did actually cover A, B, and C. I think. We'll find out. I think I've been trying to wrap this up for like 10 minutes now, right? Yeah. I don't know. But this has been a really cool exercise in self-love. Just all of this. Being alive itself is one, but like, this is cool. This is really cool. And it's, I think, a younger version of me would be like, even though there's a lot of people that'll look at all the things that I do with like this sort of stuff, or like especially like the farther I get into the future, right, that we get in the future, the more time that's put in between me and the older videos and this, the cringier they're gonna appear, right? I'm so okay with that. I think that'll be so fun. Because they're like the few times that sometimes like I see things that I've made or taken myself from like when I was much more like reserved about that, with like my own personal storage, not like other people taking, like not like family recording me or something, but I don't know, my perspectives on just having things to make things with has drastically, well, I was gonna actually say has dramatically changed and then drastically increased my quality of life. Okay, so I'm gonna shut up now. I love you, don't kill yourself. Life is alright, you know. People are not good or bad, they just are, and some of them are fucking annoying, and that's okay. Because I am too sometimes. Probably more often than I realize. Or as often as I sometimes realize, but just don't care to change. And not in a stubborn way, but in a like, life is very short to not to change the wrong things about yourself, you know? I want to change for the right reasons and in the right ways that feel right. I need to shut up. Okay. Art. I was just gonna show you art real quick because my therapist said that she liked it, and I have to fucking text her back. I just realized, holy shit. But she asked for a picture of it because I showed her it, and then I was like, I thought this was like too chaotic because it kind of looks like the phosphenes in your eyes, in my opinion. That's what I was trying to go for a little bit. But she thought it looked really cool and stuff, and I was like, oh my god, wait, actually, like, you don't think I'm fucking psychotic? Not that being psychotic is a bad thing, but like, get a doctor if you're psychotic. Babe, mental health is in right now. Please, get a therapist. Especially if you have insurance that'll cover it. Like, come on, what's your excuse right now? Huh? You can do it online. I'm doing it online. Come on. Come on, just try it. I know it doesn't always work out, but just try it. And if it's the wrong person, just try a different one. Like, maybe give it 6 months, try it again. Like, trust me, I've gone through. Okay, I'm saying this as if I've gone through like a billion. This is the 4th therapist that I've tried ever. I think. Well, not exactly. Future topic. I'm shutting up now. Art. So I did the art, and then the last thing was the beer that, when partner was over, my dad was like, yeah, you guys can have some of this wine or the Japanese beer in the fridge. We were like, oh my god, you're so hip and cool, thank you, father. Like, that was so sweet, because, that Japanese beer was fucking good. And I'm not sponsored by it, and I don't want to be, sponsored by beer, but, like, I think it just wouldn't. I don't think, the messaging would work. Just in general, I have some thoughts on monetization that I want to, like, have a specific video only about that, because I think I've spent enough time thinking about it now where I'm like, okay, I really think I figured out how I want to, like, at least for now, deal with, like, using a platform like this to be making something so deeply personal that also then gets put into an algorithm that could generate ad revenue, you know. So for future time, I know I've said that like a few times too, but like whatever. But yeah, that beer was good, and then we had Dark Horse wine, like a little bit of that. Technically the wine first and then the beer, even though, what is it? The liquor before beer, you're in the clear. Beer before liquor, never been sicker, I think. Okay, those good night, goodbye.